Diego, the first thing I want to do is I want to compliment you on the choice of blue pants and a blue shirt. There's nothing a guy with brown hair and a beard looks better in than a blue shirt and blue pants, so good job.
Thanks. That is my go-to color all the time.
All right, so Diego, I still remember when I first joined the company and I was talking to you about the vision for the Guidewire Cloud Platform. And I remember you telling me, Mike, we need to launch it and then I need 3 releases. And then we're going to really feel good about this thing. And so Cortina marks that 3rd release. I was wondering if you can just give me a perspective on where we've come and what we've achieved with Guidewire Cloud Platform so far.
Yeah, I think we came a long way. It's always difficult to predict how far you're moving in the future when you are making a plan, but I'm very satisfied with where we are right now. And less than a year ago, we were launching in 1 region. Now we are rolling in 7 regions around the world. Things came into a situation into which now we have the same platform running in 7 regions, and we're starting focusing and shifting more than a new feature really on hardening and making automation our priority.
How do you feel about the pace that we're moving right now and with respect to the progress we're making release after release after release?
You have an ambition to be faster. Our customers are very excited to the progress that we've made, but at the same time also are asking to be faster. The problem with moving too fast is that sometimes you move too fast and you break things. So that's why we're focusing a lot in really hardening and optimizing. So I'm expecting that we're going to accelerate and become even faster. But at the point where we are right now, I'm pretty happy where we are and at the pace that we are right now. And I think, yes, Cortina is the 3rd release, and I'm looking at the next 3 actually now.
Yeah, and you look at the next 3 and you can only imagine where we'll be 3 releases from now, a year and a half from now. It's pretty great to think about. And so let's keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's never done. It's never actually done. Technology moves into a direction into which there is always new challenge, new problem to solve. And so the good thing is that we now have an infrastructure and an approach into which we can continuously solve problem rather than really solve problem once every 2 years.
Yeah, I think that at Guidewire, so much has changed because of this simple idea of cycle time, right? What's our cycle time? We went from 2 years now to 6 months. And in some of our groups, you could tell us we're even going faster than that. It changes the whole way that you think about developing software. And I think the same thing must be true for insurance companies in the way that they develop software, the way that they develop insurance products.
Traditionally, there was like this approach into which, okay, the software is released every 2 years. I'm going to have a big IT project every 3 years. I'm going to go to the CEO and request for the budget to do that big project. Things will have to kind of shift into a different paradigm. Is a continuous improvement, is a continuous evolution, as technology is, right? Where now things happen in a way that you don't need to adjust. They kind of gradually happen.
It's an incredible vision. It's going to be fun working with every one of our customers over the course of the next few years to not just make that shift to cloud, but also make that shift to thinking about continuously innovating and continuously developing and reducing that cycle time. So it'll be exciting. So Diego, give me your perspective on the importance of transitioning, or at least thinking about that transition now. Why is it so important?
I think it's really important because, first of all, a typical implementation, but also an upgrade of Guidewire, it's a project that ranges between 6 to 9 months, sometimes a little bit more even. And if you think about at the pace into which we are delivering new capability, by the time that you make that decision, we're going to release probably 2, maybe 3 releases. So I think that a lot of the customers are thinking in terms of, are we ready now? Is the customer ready now? Are we as a Guidewire ready now? So personally, I think that from a customer perspective, it's imperative to move now, because by the time they're going to be live on Guidewire Cloud, we're going to be 3 releases down the road. So it's going to be 6 releases further into the future compared to what they're running today.
It's exciting to think about what you can do and how fast you can innovate, but making that decision, really fundamentally involves a customer trusting Guidewire to run this critical system on their behalf. What's your perspective on us establishing the credibility we need in order to be able to run this service in a way that every CIO out there, every CEO out there can trust us?
I will break this in three parts, and then I just also to remind everybody that Guidewire exists since almost 20 years, and across those 20 years, we've been building a lot of expertise on the P&C industry that is not widely available in any other company in the market. So I will start with people. 20 years building and supporting our solution, even on a self-managed infrastructure, is not something that you can quickly replicate. It's not something that can easily be copied. And then in the last 5 years, when we embarked into this cloud transformation, we start to kind of working and streamline our processes. And that was kind of a very critical element of learning, because in a lot of situations for us, we knew what it takes to build a product, but we didn't really fully know what it takes to really run all the entire operation. So starting by building that team, and there was a lot of learning, and it's all the learning that we've been packaging in the platform today, right? So what you've been seeing on the last 2 years and today with Cortina is a combination of the evolution of the product plus everything that we needed to know from a process and operation perspective. The combination of those three things is what I believe is a kind of, we can write that on our business card under trust, right? It's people, processes, and the evolution of the platform.
Yeah, and I think this being Cortina, right, this third release of Guidewire Cloud Platform, I think it is your favorite ski resort, right?
When we came up with this idea of ski resort, and going back to the third release is going to be the key release. It was important for me to make that third release the Cortina release because, as you said, it's one of my favorite places. It's such an iconic resort. I'm very proud of what we have achieved, and I'm proud of the fact that this third release is back into my home country.
All right, so Diego, one of the things we're doing in Cortina is we're talking about a solution for usage-based insurance, or UBI, telematics. I'm very excited about this, okay? Because it's sort of a new thing for Guidewire, right? It's this collection of things that specifically designed to solve a problem. I'd like your perspective on this. How should people be thinking about what is this solution from Guidewire? How do you think about that as it relates to your job driving the innovation in the technology platform?
Yeah, the way we look at solution is an evolution of something that in some way we always had. But in the past, building a solution was heavily relying on service. In this case, for UBI, we are combining the latest digital framework combined with our integration framework that I just talked before. And the combination of all those elements is kind of put our customer at a different starting point and is way more efficient to assemble a solution, and is going to be way more efficient for us to start packaging the solution going forward. So think about a world into which those solutions will become available and pre-packaged and pre-tested and easily swappable for whatever our customer needs to do.
And I think the thing that everybody needs to realize, and what excites me so much about the future, is that to the degree to which all of our customers are common, all of our customers are on the same platform with the same API surface area, with the same access to the marketplace applications, the sort of value of these solutions that we build will be much, much greater than it is today, where everybody's in a bit of a different state.
And also, when we have been discussing with our customer on a cloud solution and having them on the same infrastructure and so on, there has been always a little bit of the fear of, how do I differentiate myself? What it will be important to understand is that in any kind of implementation today, on a self-managed implementation, customers spend 50% of the time in things that have nothing to do with differentiation. It has to do with the repetition of the same thing, right? So our vision is that everything that has to do with repetition is something that we're nailing. We're making sure that all that part comes out of the box that is going to enable you to kind of go faster and spend more of your time in things that differentiate yourself rather than things that are kind of pretty common across all the implementation.
It's kind of interesting. It's a bit of a paradox, right? Is that, by effectively what I think we are doing is commoditizing the core platform for insurance. But what that actually enables is more innovation and more differentiation. Now, I want to talk to you about something I'm particularly excited about in Cortina, and that's the integration framework, okay? This, to me, is a real, and I hate to say this word, it's a game changer. What you have done with this integration framework and this ability to sort of, call it, just democratize the connection of Guidewire to other services, I think it's going to have a transformational effect for our customers. So tell me what's your perspective?
Integration is always being the long pole into an implementation. When we start to run that as a service, we learn pretty quickly that integration was something that we needed to give it a good thought and re-architect the approach. First of all, we needed to have it externalized from the core. And secondly, we needed to rethink the architecture in a way that was event-based and API-based. So I know that today we are launching the integration framework as a kind of package solution of multiple components, but the journey to start building those components started 2 years ago. So we started with API 2 years ago. Now we have like a wide breadth of capability at the API level. What we're launching today is the integration gateway, and we think this is going to be totally a game changer. We have a customer that is being already early adopting this, and the early signs are very encouraging, and we're very excited.
Okay, so a couple questions about this. Does that mean I have to change all my integrations when I move to cloud?
No, it means that if you have built a bunch of integration and you want to use them as you build them in the first place, you can carry them over. If you want to take advantage of some of the new capability, we have this alternative now. And we believe that this alternative is going to become so compelling that our customers are going to start to adopt this approach.
So I think that pattern is really important for people to understand, right? Is this new capability gets added, it doesn't replace the old can still be there. The new capability is there for you incrementally when you have your next work, your next item, the next thing to do, the next InsurTech to integrate from the marketplace. That's important to understand. And so this is going to make it easier for partners too, right? Solution providers on our marketplace will be able to leverage this also, right?
Yes, moving that into a direction in which everything could be totally externalized, that you use the latest and greatest infrastructure, that you can build that in Java, that you rely on a set of RESTful API that are going to be backward compatible and for forever. That is going to change completely the sort of time to build an integration, efficiency in building that integration, and most important, maintaining that integration across the year.
Okay, so let's talk about something that I think is pretty exciting about the Cortina release, and that is our Data Studio. So we've already launched, and it's been part of the platform, this idea of a cloud data platform. Now you're adding Data Studio to this. Tell us what that is. Tell us what it means. Tell us what value we're delivering to customers with it.
Sure, I'll do a quick analogy. As everybody knows now, I love skiing. I'm an avid skier. And in the sort of skiing world, there is this say that there is never too much snow. And so similarly with data, we could say there is never too many data. And so the vision 2 years ago, 3 years ago was let's build a data lake. Let's build a platform where we can capture and stream every single data from a transactional system, that we can store all of them and we can store them near real time. So that was the initial focus, store everything. Now we are shifting into second gear. And in second gear is, okay, how do I make those data available? In the keynote earlier, I was talking about visualize, connect, and analyze. Basically, this is to simplify, is like, okay, you want to visualize your data into our BI tool. You want to connect your data into a BI tool that any other vendor has. But most important, when we go into the analyze is predictive model, predictive analytics, model that learn and kind of change kind of the outcome based on the learning and so on. So Data Studio is the key for this, is the key to enable those 3 different types of consumption. We are pretty excited about, again, we have 2 customers that, as we speak right now, we have not even launched officially Cortina while we're recording this, but I think last week or yesterday, we got a couple of customers signing an early access agreement to use Data Studio. And that is going to be the first part that we are going to kind of look forward to engage with those customers and kind of complete the vision that it was from store everything to give a tool that is going to enable their access and their consumption.
And it's such a great story about how, you have to realize that as we go through these releases, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, we're just going to keep adding functionality, and they build on one another. We have the data platform, we have the analysis mechanisms. We're making it possible for all of our customers that are able to take advantage of this cloud functionality and this cloud platform. It's going to get easier and easier and easier and more benefit as they use the platform.
Yeah, I think the sort of complex part, when you kind of do such a pivot, there is, at the beginning, you work on things that are really plumbing. Plumbing is kind of exciting from an engineering perspective, but from a customer perspective, the plumbing does not see any result, right? Now we are starting to deliver value on top of that, and Data Studio is the first piece that I'm thinking we're going to accelerate from this moment on, and the journey is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's great. So we've instantiated the platform. We've got our first 3 releases out there. The foundation's complete, and you're starting to see the business value, sort of start to be delivered. I wonder if you could talk to me about what's next. What are you excited about that's sort of in the lab we're working on now, and what's coming in the future?
If you look at the keynote before, there was an area that we kind of glossed a little bit on top, that it was Jutro and our UX and digital framework. We are working on something very exciting on that. I'm pretty confident that hopefully when we do this next, that is going to be in person and in Vegas, we're going to have some very interesting things to show to our customer that is going to be in the area of UX, digital, and how all those things becomes really kind of, we simplified all those. This idea of reusability in one end, but at the same time, differentiation in such a way the customer can reuse component, but differentiate each other in a very efficient way.
It's been just a great 1.5 years for me getting to work with you and see this platform evolve. So congratulations. It's got to be a little bit of fun for you.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, this has been a very interesting journey, and I'm very proud of what we've been able to achieve, and I'm looking forward to the next release.
I'd like to conclude by saying thank you for being our customers and for placing your trust in us. Thank you for watching this keynote. I hope it was useful. We are excited to continually improve our platform and deliver it as a cloud service so that you can run your business and accelerate your innovation. We're already hard at work on Dobson, and we look forward to telling you all about it at our next Connections, hopefully in person in November in Las Vegas. And so, speaking on behalf of everyone here at Guidewire, it is our privilege to serve you. Thank you very much.